computer. Excellent. So the recording is started, and what I was sharing is that when Rajiv shared that he wants to cover this book, I was super duper excited because the author Robin Sharma happens to be one of my all-time favorite. I read a lot of his books and love to read them again and again. So this is, I think, one of a wonderful book which at least I have read, and I'm sure that a lot of you echo with that. Now, just to briefly introduce Rajiv, he's a veteran in Nestle, carries a lot of experience and has been associated with our reading club for about last couple of years. We had different ways to connect amongst ourselves, and I must say he was one constant factor who always used to take out time from his busy schedule and spend time with us, reading various things and summarizing various things. So with that introduction, the stage is yours, Rajiv. Over to you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your kind words. I don't think I deserve this type of intro, but nonetheless, thank you very much for the intro which you have given to me. And whatever I think your fan following for Robin Sharma, from there only I have taken this clue and I got to know about this book. So credit goes to you only for letting me know such a wonderful, vast treasure of books, which somehow as and when I get the time, so I try to enhance my knowledge about the same. So I have just prepared 3 or 4 slides about the book to share whatever my insights are with the audience which are present here. So good evening, everyone. So I will trust I can present my share my I can start my screen sharing and share the.
Just see, can you share? If not, I'll see how to allow you. I think you should be able to.
Sir, this is message is coming. Host disabled participant screen sharing at my side. This message is coming.
Okay, try now. It will be there. Yeah.
Yeah, it is there. Okay, trust my screen is visible to all of you. Okay, thanks. Thanks for the confirmation. Okay. So this is a very wonderful book where the author Robin Sharma has tried to share with us some of his beautiful insights about mastering our mind, which if we employ these particular his suggestion or techniques, whatever we can say, then this can surely give us lasting benefits, which can benefits us a lot. So quickly, I will just start with the same. In the book, basically there are one person called Julian. I'm just giving a brief background to the book which is there. So he was a very famous lawyer, and he has a very good lavish practice, and he was very renowned for his this legal skills. So he has a lot of money with him and Ferrari, etc. But then at one sudden day, he has a heart attack. Then he somehow recovered from the same, and then he went on to the India to in the company of the sages. So there he got some very useful tips as to the enlightenment of the life and how we should try to attain our purpose of the life, to connect to the main purpose of our existence. So this particular books revolves around how the Julians then share his whatever insights he has got from his 3-year stay in India with his another famous colleague of his past successful life. So in the just next slides which are there, so all these are basically the insights which the author has tried to convey through the character of Julian. I hope you will also find them useful. although if they are repetitive, so kindly bear with me for the same. So first of all, the author says we should master our mind. So he says we should take care that the most extraordinary garden in the life is the garden of our mind. So we must stand as a guard at the gate and let only the very best information enter it. So we as a guard should try to ensure that the whatever information is getting, so that is only doing us positive benefit. Okay, my battery, just sorry for interruption, just allow me.
While Rajiv comes back, yeah, he's back.
Yeah. Sorry for the interruption which is there. Okay, so sir, you are saying something, and you can, if you can add on to something.
Go ahead, please, Rajiv. Go ahead.
Okay. So we must try to protect the garden of our mind, and worries, he states, that drains our mind much of its power, and it injures our soul. So we should not waste our time in worrying about futile things. So time takes care of everything, and mind management is the essence of life management. No matter what happens to us in our day-to-day life, we have the capacity to choose our response. So with our responses, we can always decide in which way we want our life to move. Responses are always in our hand, so we should try to choose our responses carefully to have the best positive result. And blueprinting, he suggests, always expect the best always. Whatever we are doing, so we should always be hopeful that whatever we are doing, so that will always turn out to be the best. And mind is a wonderful servant, but a terrible master. Don't allow it to entertain negative thoughts. So we should not allow our mind to be a terrible master. We should be in control of our minds. In a day, we are thinking around 60,000 thoughts in a day. It is practically impossible to control all of them, but we should try to never let our mind become a terrible master. And the author in this book has advised us some very good techniques to master our mind, which are there in the next slide, which I will just share with you. If in between any of the participant has any query or clarification, or they will like to share anything, so you are most welcome about the same. Okay, so this slide, basically the author is stating the techniques with us, how we can master our mind. As a first technique, the author is stating the technique of heart of rose. So we should try to focus on a fresh rose at a silent place. Keep staring at its, noticing its texture, design, fragrance. At first, other thoughts will distract. Return your attention to the rose. So we should use this particular technique for mastering our mind. So we should try to focus on a rose and keep our attention on the same. So this will stable our mind. And then as a second technique, Robin Sharma is advising about the opposition thinking. So he said that our mind can hold only one thought at one time. If undesirable, weak thoughts occupy the mind, then we should try to replace it with uplifting thought. Weak mind leads to weaker action. So we should always try to replace our whatever undesirable thoughts are there with the uplifting thought. Although this needs a lot of effort at our end, but slowly and gradually, if we try to use this particular technique, then this will lead to a lasting benefits. And as a third technique, the author is advising about the secret of lake. Look into the lake and envision doing what you want. You need not have a lake. You can practice visualization anywhere. So according to me, this is a very wonderful, the third technique which the author is advising. So it is all based on the visualization. So although it is not necessary to have a in practical, we should be in front of a lake. but we need to visualize the same and then envision doing what you want. So this way we can master our mind. And then there is a famous quote which the author has mentioned in the book, that success like happiness cannot be pursued, it must ensue. We have to run our own race. It does not matter what other think or say. Fatigue is a creation of mind, and it dominates if one is living without direction and dreams. So I can also, in my practical life, I can also very correlate with the thing which is there. So it is very essential to have a direction and dreams in our life to avoid the fatigue. If we do not have the clear direction, what we want to achieve in our life, and we do not have any dreams, then we cannot basically, then this will leads to only undesirable results which be there. And we should not try to look at what the others are saying, and we have to run our own race and be unique in whatever God has bestowed upon us. So we are unique that the way the God has created, and we should try to utilize those capabilities which are given to us. Okay, in the next slide, the author is stating we have to follow our purpose. The author state everything is created twice, first in the mind and then in the reality. And whatever this is being presented in the slide, so this the author has tried to convey through the character of Julian, which he is conveying to his other colleague which is there, and he is also quite inspired with whatever how Julian has got transformed from the earlier Julian which was there, and now he looks into a different freshness is there on his face. He is more positive, and the way it has transformed us. So his colleague was also very amazed how these things have such a amazing effect on him. So the author said everything is created first in the mind and then in reality, and he who serves the more reaps the most. One who tries to always help others and share the whatever knowledge we have with the others. So this also reaps the most benefit in the long run to the person who is serving the other person. And in the below are the 5-step method which the author have advised us for achieving our goals, which are there. We should never forget the importance of living with unbridled exhilaration. Never neglect to see the exquisite beauty in all the living things. We should try whenever we go to a walk in the park, or we should always try to see the surroundings which are there. We should be thankful to the God, although this all might be seeming more theoretical, but this is the practical essence of life. If we go to our nearby park, we can see so many things which the nature is, the birds which are there, the morning chirping which is there, the greeny environment which is there, the sound of a flute which is there. The author tried to emphasize that we should try to explore the exquisite beauty which is there in these things. Today and this very moment is a gift, and we should stay focused on our purpose, the universe, everything else. Our main job is to stay in the present moment. And whatever our purpose is there, so we have to stay focused on the same, and rest of the things universe will ensure that everything that we are desiring will happen. So 5 steps. As a first step, he is stating we need to have a clear vision first, and second step he is advising put positive pressure on yourself, and third he's saying whatever our goals are there, so those have to be smart goals. We necessarily need to attach timelines to it. For example, if my goal, if I am overweight, I want to reduce my weight, for example, say by 5 kg. So I necessarily have to put a goal in this manner. I want to reduce my weight by 5 kg within a period of 1 month. It is very essential to attach timeline to whatever goals we are setting for ourselves, and it is also more essential to commit on a paper, because whatever we are on verbal, we make lot of promises to ourselves on the new year day, in this coming year we will do this and do that. But as the time progresses, so we are actually too busy in our other commitments which are there, whether on the family front, personal front, or official front. So we do not have a time to act on the purpose which we have set as a deadline. So it is very essential to commit on a paper. And as a step 5, the author mentions the magic rule of 21. So for perform for 21, to make any habit materialize. So it is very essential to repeat, perform the sales for a 21 days in a row. And side by side, we need to enjoy the process and breathe fire of passion into it. Because unless and until we are enjoying the process, if somebody is forcing on us something, then we are never going to achieve any fruitful result out of the same. The key is that whatever goal we are defining, so we should be interested in the same, and it is very essential to enjoy the process and put some passion into the same towards achievement of the same. And lastly, the author mentioned no time for ourselves is like no time to stop for gas because we are too busy driving. Here he has given a very good example, because whenever we are driving, we make sure ki this does not go into reserve. Before turning into reserve, or as soon as our vehicle get into reserve, we make sure to refill the tank for ensuring ki our journey does not get stopped in way to avoid the inconvenience. So similarly, the author says ki it is very essential to have the time for ourselves. Spending 1 hour daily on ourselves will give dramatic result in 30 days. Key to success is to practice every day. So nutshell, he wants to take discipline is the key. If we, whatever we are as a vision, as a goal we are defining for ourselves, so it is very essential to have the necessary discipline towards achieving the same. So we have to commit to ourselves ki daily 1 hour we will spend for at least 30 days. We can see the dramatic result in whatever in terms of the example of weight loss which I have given. So we need to have the spare time for ourselves. Okay, then moving on to the next slide. Okay, here the author is stating, so as a good practice to have the better result, so he states we should always try to do whatever we fear the most, whether we correlate with the workplace example which are there. So whatever the area of work which we fear or find it most difficult, so we should always try to do those things first. And practice makes the man perfect. The more we will practice those things, so our fear will go outside and we will be successful in the same. Success on the outside begins within. You don't attract what you want, you attract who you are. So what we are, that is what we are attracting, and not what we want. So this mantra is worth repeating and reflecting on many times. So we can also correlate with the same on our personal front and professional front also. So this is a very true thing that the author has mentioned. And Robin Sharma has believes the most effective technique for pricing Kaizen is doing the things you fear. So we should we can overcome the fear of doing things only by doing them, by practicing more and more. Till the time we let the fear go from inside, so we will not be successful in achieving that desired result. Then he has advised us this 10 rituals also of radiant living, which are just there in the screen. So there is a very famous quote which he has quoted here: the universe favors the brave. When you resolve to live your life to the highest level, the strength of your soul will guide you to a magical place with magnificent treasures. So we should always resolve to lift your life to the highest level. So the 10 rituals which he has advised, the first one is solitude. Have a mandatory period of peace, quietness daily. So at least for a minimum period of 5 minutes, we should ensure each day that we sit in a peace and quiet place to have the solitude in place. Then he states physicality is also very essential. So he recommends that we need to do the any physical activity during the day, because as we all know, we are only one workout away from a good start. So if we want a good start to our day and being more energetic and passionate into the things which we are doing, so we are only one workout away from the same. And on the nourishment front, as we already know all these things, but he has mentioned, I think most of us are already aware about the thing. There is nothing new which he is mentioning. Only we need to reinforce and have a discipline to practice these particular things, which will bring a lasting benefit in our day-to-day lives. There is nothing new which he has stated. Only we need to adhere to the same and have the clear vision what we want to achieve with a timeline attached to the same. So this will have a very good benefit for the benefit of all of us. And then he states that we should try to become a students for life. So irrespective of our age, we should daily keep reading and learning, and we can learn from each person anything, because every person is in some or other way superior to us. So we should try to observe the other person and learn something from them. And then as a personal reflection, we should take time to get to know yourself. And we should try to have a sleep hours of 6 hours and wake up along with the sun. The author advises we should try to wake up between 5 to 5:30. And the first 10 minutes when we wake up are very crucial for the day, how our entire day goes. It is very essential to focus on in the first 10 minutes when we get up from the bed, what we are thinking. So we should try to have the see what type of a thoughts we are having. And music also, the author states, has a very lasting impact on whatever we are doing. So we should try to have some soft music in our leisure time to have keep our fresh and relief from the stress which we are having from our personal and professional front. And and spoken words. So there are, for each person there is a success mantra, and it may vary from person to person. From one person it may be something else, and for other person it may work out to be. So we should try to write down a short mantra and chant it to yourself. So this really does give us a positive energy and uplift ourselves in times of when we are down with something negative. So this surely helps to keep us motivating and build our energy levels. And then he states we should try to take daily incremental steps to build our character. Small steps are very essential. Whatever goal, little or big, we are trying to, we should always start with a small goal first, and we should try to take the incremental steps to build our character. And then he advises on the simplicity. We should try to live a simple and long life to have the whatever our goals are there. Those things are very essential. And then he mentioned the self-mastery is the DNA of life mastery. So everything comes down to our own. Nobody can teach you anything unless you want to, yourself want to learn that. That motivation should be within us. So whatever we want to achieve, the others can only give us guidance on the same, how to achieve a particular, but the rest is up to us, how badly, how passionate we are about the things to achieve. So leading yourself first, give others the vote of confidence that you are capable of leading others. Sumo wrestlers symbolizes consistent improvement. Practice makes a man perfect. So in nutshell, through the characters, which are two main characters which are there in the book, so the author tries to convey some of very useful techniques and methods which can surely bring very good benefits to all of us. So that's it from my side. I think if I have taken more time, then my apologies for the same. If, other speakers, please carry on with the same.
Great, Rajiv. I think that was super duper summary, some amazing quotes. And the way you remember them is making me feel that how much depth of the reading you have done. I think that's super amazing. So why don't we move to Dr. Rajeshwari now and to share the take about this lovely book, and then we'll follow it with Toastmaster Dory. Uh,
Yeah, the presentation which was done by Rajiv was very interesting. All the points, the 10 rituals he mentioned about practicing Kaizen, doing the things you fear. I have practiced some of them, and really it works. The extreme fear of, first of all, I had an extreme fear of communication, even though I was a professor, a doctor, where routinely I need to communicate with patients and everybody. But somehow, practicing this communication with unknown people, strangers, sometimes it became very difficult for me. Unless I become very much acquainted with the person, I will not be able to communicate freely. So this was one of the fears. So there are some kinds of fears which I overcame practicing this Kaizen. So solitude, physicality, all these things. Uh, yeah, I do practice it. So I think it works very well, and I think everyone should practice this. All the things which Robin Sharma has mentioned is really very useful to lead a adequate and successful life. Uh, One question I frequently encounter in my life, when suddenly life throws you some challenges, even though we know all the theories, philosophies of good living, positive thinking and everything, journaling. Recently I learned journaling also, the power journaling formula. uh, but one thing we all encounter, not only me, I think so, I want your opinions also. So what happens is negative thinking comes. How far you avoid the negative thinking comes, and then what happens is whatever principles he has given here, visualizing positive thing, and then going through that and converting those negative thoughts, redirecting them and bringing in the positive things. It takes some time, but in the reflection of the moment, we just react to the negative things. Whatever happens, we react against it negatively. So somewhere I feel the challenge here. So what is your reactions to this kind of situation? What is your experience? I wanted to.
If you
Yeah,
please go
go
ahead,
ahead.
sir. Yeah, please
Go ahead,
go ahead,
Rajiv.
sir. Okay, if you're, in my opinion, what you are mentioning in is very right, Dr. Rajeshwari, and the same is the experience with me also. But I think with the course of the by practicing the steps which the author has mentioned, although as you have mentioned, it is going to take a lot of effort. But whenever such negative situation arises, in my experience, we should try to be silent and just try to smile at that particular juncture. So and try to replace whatever our negative thoughts are there with the positive one. So this will really help, but surely this is going to take a lot of effort in my view.
Yeah, thank you.
Sir, you were also telling something. If you can please.
Hitansha has a hand raised, and then Pragya. Let's hear Hitansha and followed by Pragya.
Yes, thank you. The thing that helps me personally is the first step is what I do is to acknowledge that this thought is negative, and it's okay to like encounter negative thoughts sometimes because we are not like productivity gurus or like positivity mantras don't always work. So we have to sometimes acknowledge that okay, this is a negative thought, and then I also like to remind myself that okay, the negative thought I will eventually find how to see the positive in it, but in the meantime when I'm trying, distraction helps and acknowledging helps a lot. That it's okay, it's maybe one day or 2 days of negative thoughts, and I know that somewhere at the end I have that faith that something positive will definitely come out. I think this helps me, and then distraction of course helps in the meanwhile.
Yeah, let's hear Pragya.
Hello, everyone. So one thing which really helps me in such situation is having. So I have a word. Okay, that particular word I will think in the morning that this will be my word for the day, and whatever negative thought comes to into my mind is immediately shifted to that word. So, for example, if that word is faith for a day, then I will do whatever is happening. I will just keep telling faith as the word whenever anything negative is happening. And that not only gives me a positive shift, mind shift, or alternative mind shift, it also gives me that kind of a time to acknowledge and kind of relief from that particular thought. Second thing which I really agree, which Tansha also said, and one of my mentor has also told me that most of the times anger or irritation or this negativity tries to find its place. Once you give it that value, that place, that okay, I agree, you're here, and it is okay to be angry, then it slides off much more easily rather than you trying to suppress or compress it. So these are the two things which I do, because being a mother of two young kids, I think this is quite easy for me to get into that negative loop and anger and irritation and frustration and all of it you can think of probably. So that's what works.
Thank you for the wonderful experiences and things which you have said. Yeah, that's true.
Excellent. I think we should give a round of applause to Hitansha as well as Pragya to share. And Dr. Rajeshwari for a big congratulations and applause to you as well to put this piece on the table. While we may read 100 of books or do whatever, there comes a situation which takes the rug from underneath us, or we feel that suddenly the earth below us has eloped. So yes, there are those situations despite all these readings. But personally, what I can see in myself, I wasn't a reader till 5 years back. So when a challenge was coming at that time vis-a-vis the challenge coming now, I am far more measured. I don't kick myself so much. I understand if something outside is happening, it will obviously impact me, but relax, it'll pass. Like every good time, every bad time will also pass. But yes, it does happen, and we are no way near to perfect people who can, you know, handle it with a lot of poise, etc. At least I am not. So I think a lot to work on that. But I think knowing that there is a lot to do, and once you are in a journey, you realize that yes, you are progressing, you are improving, and there is a lot to do. So that I think gives me a lot of satisfaction that in the end I know the direction, or I know the pace at which I am going, and gradually I'm getting better at handling such kind of curveballs which keep coming in life. So thanks for putting that very interesting and important question on the table. So we now move to Shobit. Shobit, would you like to share any of your takeaway or any book which you are reading presently?
Yeah, correctly. So I will correlate both the things. So I just listened one quote about mind. Okay. So currently I'm reading that book Mindset. So in
Shobit,
this,
your voice is not audible to me. I'm not sure about rest of the
is it
participants.
audible now?
It's a
Slight.
bit low, but audible to us, Rajiv.
Give me a second.
Okay.
Let me check with my ear.
Right.
Yeah, is it audible now?
Much
Yeah,
better.
it is perfect.
Yeah. So as you mentioned about the mind, okay, mind is a very good servant and as well as the worst master. So currently I'm reading one book which is Mindset by Dr. Carol Dweck. So currently I'm on the fourth chapter. So basically what this book tells about two different mindset. The one is fixed mindset and the other is growth mindset. So generally what happens, we all people certainly falls into one or the other category. Either we are the person who falls in the fixed mindset or in the growth mindset. So what is the basic difference in the things? So you can just go through the book and you can learn that you can ask a few questions from yourself, like what happens when you find any challenge in your life. So do you have some certain fixed thought in your mind, like, oh my god, I can't do this, I'm so busy, like these thoughts, or you are having some good thoughts like, okay, this is something new challenge, or if I fail, what does it mean, I will learn something. So your thought and that decides in which category you generally fall. So it tells some principles that suppose you are in the fixed mindset category, so how you can move to growth mindset, and how growth mindset can help you in the different aspect of your life, in your professional life, in your personal life, in sports, in everything. So that's a very wonderful book. I will recommend each and every one of you to just go through this book if you want to learn about the mindset. So that's all from my side.
Wonderful, Shobit. You've reminded me at least of this one. I read it, I think 8-10 years ago, and I love this concept of fixed and growth mindset. Excellent. Have you read it? By when you plan to finish it? It'll be great if you can summarize it to all of us.
Yeah, probably I'm on the fourth chapter, so my target is within 15 days I'm supposed to finish it.
Amazing. Look forward. Reach out to us. When can you share it with us?
Sure,
Let's hear
definitely.
let's hear Manisha's viewpoint about this book or about any other book she's reading.
Hi everyone. So let me just first introduce myself because I am new to this club and the Toastmaster altogether. So I'm Manisha, and I am looking forward to learn from many of you. I mean, all of you for that matter. And I this is first review. I mean, the summary review book of the book I am attending today. And I have not read Monk Who Sold His Safari yet. I mean, but obviously I've got the good gist from Rajiv. I mean, he had presented very well, and obviously pinpointing all the areas which every one of us encounter in our daily life, professionally and personally both. So presently, what I am reading is Sadhguru's Inner Engineering book. So as of now, I mean, I happen to be a random reader. So I read most of the self-help books. So and I read almost 2 or 3 books simultaneously. I mean, that's how I read. I mean, I read chunk of something and chunk of something. That's how I read. So then I had started with The Secret, and The Secret book, as it is profoundly known that it is actually a mantra to be followed, to actually call for positivity and to make things happen, to put things into the universe, is one of the things which probably this book tells you all over. And about the negativity also, it actually suggests you what you should actually not be even saying. I mean, not even saying. And because saying is also bringing that thought into consideration, which was actually not there anyway. And along with that, I'm reading this Inner Engineering book, which particularly tells you about the little things you should be uh, you should be reading about, or you should be concerned about, probably the birds chirping for that matter, and just watering your plants. It's those minute things which can definitely bring a positive outlook towards the entire day, for that matter, for the entire day. So I am recently on I mean, I'm currently on third or fourth chapter here, but I'm literally looking forward to complete it in a different way, because it's definitely going to bring so many changes in me, because I've been actually following and things like that what Sadhguru had been giving in the podcast and YouTube channel. So that's it from my side for now, and we'll share, just in case, I'll just I'll complete and I'll share something.
Amazing. I think I would say 100 out of 100 to you as a reader, Manisha. A lot of us read a lot but aren't able to apply it. The fact that you are reading it slowly and trying to apply it is super amazing. Super amazing. Keep it up. Kudos. We'll look forward to you sharing a summary of that book. It's quite a nice book. Yes.
Sure.
Is an interesting writer as well.
Yeah, because it gives actually the logical aspects, which today's generation really want to relate, because today's generation doesn't take the things you are just giving them and taking them. They are informed generation nowadays, so they definitely need to be connected to that spiritual leader, where definitely they are also inclined, because their mindset and our mindset also, in a way which what they tells you, probably every other person is telling the same thing. But having said that, if they are giving you certain things out of their own journey, how they have actually become it, so, and applying that, probably you will not become the yogi for sure, but then at least you can incorporate those little changes, those little considerations which were not there yet. So
Sure.
that's it.
Sure. So we are just about to wrap up. Just last couple of minutes. I'll invite quickly Anisha, followed by Pragya, to share what book they are reading. Anisha, would you like to share?
Hi, everyone. Thank you for adding me onto this book club. This is my first book club, so please bear with me if I'm stumbling around. Thank you, Rajiv. I think you've done an absolutely amazing job. You've detailed out the book very nicely. So I read the book a few years ago, and I think sometimes it's really good with these self-help books to sort of read them every few years or so, if I can say so, because when you read them again, you sort of pick up new aspects that you can apply. Or sometimes if you're going through a certain challenge at that point in your life, you pick up something new. So I think it helps a lot. I think the last screen is still on here, and when we talk about the 10 rituals for radiant living, I think so often than not, we have this lazy lifestyle, and I'm speaking upon myself here, where we don't want to get up early, or we love our warm bed too much in winter. But these small practices is what can help change our lifestyle. For me, I find it difficult to attack all of them at one time, so I tend to pick up something that appeals the most and sort of creep that into my lifestyle until it's more settled. Yeah, that's about it. I think I've picked up a lot of other points, but sorry, just a moment. I just want to open up the sheet that I had made notes of. And he says, there we are, two slaves to the clock, toiling away on the 64th floor of some steel glass monolith, while most sane people were at home with their families, thinking we had the world by our tail, blinded by the illusory version of success. And I think so often than not, we look at people and we, with all these materialistic and wealthy positions, and that's what we want. And I think sometimes life isn't about having all of it. It's just about having the fine balance of everything. It's hard to crack, but I think that's what we all aim for. So I think that's where I am. I'm just completing the 4th chapter. So yeah, thank you for adding me, and I look forward to learning from everyone else.
Thank you. And I guess you are from South Africa, right, Anisha?
Yes. I'm from Durban, the sunny Durban in South Africa.
Thank
so
you.
We're
Thanks
going through our winter right now.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. We are above our time. I'll request Pragya to share her book's details in our book club WhatsApp group. So those of you who are not on the group would request you to drop your numbers and we will add you over there. And now we are over time, 1 minute over, and with Toastmasters time discipline, we do not take away any more time from your family than what we have scheduled. So I would say a big thank you to Rajiv to summarize this amazing book to us and explain to all of us in such a lovely manner. It was really a fun meeting. For next book club meeting, it will be same day, Wednesday, 14 days from now, couple of weeks from now. Any one of you who would volunteer to present their book with us, please send the details to us on WhatsApp. And Toastmaster Dolly and I will try and see how we can accommodate you. Thank you so much for joining us today. I had a lot of fun in today's meeting.
Thank you so much, sir, for giving me opportunity to present, and thanks to all of you for
Thank
bearing
you.
with me. Thank you for your
Thank you,
patience.
Rajiv. Thank you, everyone.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
Thanks. Bye.
Okay. Bye.
Thank you. Good night.
You were saying something? Sorry.